Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. For those of you that just joined the room, just a reminder, we are recording tonight's meeting. So please just mute your audio during our panel discussion and your choice whether you want your video on or off, and you'll have a chance to ask questions a little later on, and you can ask those in the chat as well. And also, now I almost forgot what I was going to say. Well, I'm going to welcome you all. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so thankful that you're with us tonight. This town hall is focused on hearing the voices of women and girls as they explore exciting careers in cutting edge fields of environmental sustainability, engineering, and renewable energy that require creativity and imagination. The role model experts joining us today are from CS Energy's WIRE group, Women in Renewable Energy. CS Energy is an industry-leading energy procurement and construction energy firm that designs and builds optimized projects in solar, energy storage, and emerging energy industry. Young women from the National Girls Collaborative Project's Girls Advisory Board, who you will meet shortly, will ask their questions to our role model panel experts about college, career paths, skills to develop, finding mentors, and bringing creativity into the work that they do. Tonight, we are joined by an all-star panel from CS Energy. We have Diana Palazzi-Mary, Executive Vice President of Accounting and Finance, Ram Kumar, Director of Pre-Construction, Megan Williams, Assistant Project Manager, and Mallory Flockerzy, Quality Manager. Now I'll ask all of our panelists to introduce themselves. Diana, do you want to kick it off for us?
Yes, thank you. As you mentioned, my name is Diana Palazzi-Mary, and I'm head of the accounting and finance team here at CS Energy. I just wanted to start out by saying that I'm absolutely thrilled to be here this evening. We're so excited, myself and the other women from CS Energy, to have this town hall discussion with you. So thank you again for inviting us. A little bit of background on me. I actually studied accounting at Penn State, and how I got my start here at CS Energy is through an internship. More than 16 years ago. So I basically started from the bottom up. And you know, I did things like filing and answering phones in the beginning, and I grew into my current position. To give you a little bit of history on our company, CS Energy is an industry-leading renewable energy services company, and we're focused on engineering, procurement, and construction services and project development in the renewable energy market. Fun fact about us is that we reached a major milestone in 2020. So this year, we have constructed more than 1 gigawatt of solar projects nationwide. And why is this so special for us? There's only 1 in 10 companies in the country to reach this achievement. So thank you again for having us. And we're really excited to be here and have this conversation tonight.
Jan, do you want to go next?
Hey, thank you again for having us. My name is Ram Kumar. Just a quick background on myself. I actually grew up in India. I came to the United States right after I finished my high school with my family. I have a bachelor's degree in environmental science and a master's in environmental engineering. I started my career with CS Energy as a field engineer. And similar to Diana, I grew up the ranks basically by working in the field, and also had an opportunity to work in the estimating department after a few years. Some of you might not be familiar with what estimating department does. We basically put together cost estimates for design and construction of projects and risk analysis, and basically help the company win projects to keep the business going. As I started as an estimator with CS Energy team when we were a small team at that time, and I grew with the company, now I oversee our estimating and engineering teams as the director of pre-construction. Just a quick thing that I would like to add here today, which you already mentioned before is we are extremely proud about the initiative that we started this year. Earlier this year, we realized that 16% of the employees in the company were women, and this inspired us to start an association within the company called WIRE, which stands for Women in Renewable Energy. The intent of the group is to improve business partnerships with women within the industry, support and push for equal opportunity and equal participation by motivating and inspiring other women to come join our team and be part of this growing industry.
Great, thanks so much. Megan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Megan Williams. I studied energy engineering with a minor in environmental engineering at Penn State, just like Diana. While at Penn State, I played on the varsity softball team, and between majoring in engineering and being on an elite team there, I learned the value of time management and the ability to prioritize. I started as a field engineer with CS Energy as well. I've been with the company for just about a year, and I worked 2 projects as a field engineer, totaling about 10 megawatts of installation. And now I've moved to my new role where I'm an assistant project manager and project lead for 2 27 megawatt installations. So to talk a little bit about what an assistant project manager and what the project management staff does, boiling down those responsibilities is coordinating between the design team, the project management team, and the actual construction of the project. And the best way that I can describe that is like if the design team and the construction team speak a different language and the project management staff is the interpreter in between. So as a project manager, we work between all the departments of the project to facilitate an expert installation on time, safely, and within budget. Which leads me to why CS Energy really sets itself apart in the industry. And it's exactly what I talked about. We deliver certainty in the form of safety, quality, integrity, collaboration, expertise, and execution. We pride ourselves on the relationships we have with our developers, clients, and subcontractors. Our clients keep coming back to us because of our focus on the return on investment and the certainty we deliver in our products. And with all that being said, we're just good people to work with. We follow through, we do what we say, and we believe in developing and maintaining the relationships we have out in the field with our design teams, with everybody we come in contact with. And again, like everybody said, we're all really excited to be here, and I hope that you can all take a little bit of knowledge and value with the experiences that we're going to share today.
Awesome, thank you. And Mallory?
Hi, my name is Mallory Flockerzy. I'm the quality manager here at CS Energy. I'm from the state of Maryland, where we have a good bit of snow right now. I'm married. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. You may or may not hear in the background because we are snowed in. I also have 3 dogs that might be milling around as well. I attended Villanova University. I majored in mechanical engineering with a minor in engineering entrepreneurship. I also played varsity field hockey there for 4 years. I interned with CS Energy a little over 8 years ago for a summer internship, and then after graduation joined full-time as a field engineer. Similar kind of Jan, I've worked in the field quite a bit and worked my way up. And then a year ago, I had the opportunity to formally create a quality program. I trained the company on it, implemented it, and now manage it across the company. Like everybody else said, I'm really excited to be here. I hope we can influence some of the young women on this town hall to see that there's so many different opportunities in the STEM field. Some of us majored in engineering, but like Diana, she majored in finance, but is still involved in a renewable industry. So there's multiple ways to make a positive impact. So I hope you guys can, take that away from speaking to us today.
Great, thanks so much to all of our role models. We're really excited to hear more from you shortly. I am going to pass it off to Kelly.
Hi, thanks, Kata. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Rayna, and I'm from the National Girls Collaborative Project. I'm the manager of our Girls Advisory Board. I'm going to share a little bit about the NGCP, the role of the Girls Advisory Board, and then I'll introduce our Girls Advisory Board members who will be asking questions of our panelists tonight. The vision of the National Girls Collaborative Project is to bring together organizations committed to informing and encouraging girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and computer science. NGCP helps to share resources with programs serving girls across the United States and globally as the Global Girls Collaborative. The Girls Advisory Board is a group of young women and girls from across the country from a variety of backgrounds and STEM interests. They provide important feedback for NGCP initiatives and are offered various unique resources to help them in their STEM pursuits. We have some members here tonight to ask questions to our panelists. I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves now.
Okay, I guess I can get started. Hi, I'm Renuka. I am going to be the moderator for our event today. I'm a senior and I'm from Kentucky. And I guess a fun fact about me, outside of STEM, I'm really passionate about art. I run an art account on Instagram. And I also like to teach middle school students from underrepresented communities in Kentucky, in my city, Lexington. Art. So yeah, I'm really passionate about art.
I can go ahead next. I'm Bella. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a junior. And a fun fact about me is I grew up in Miami and I grew up speaking Spanish and English, and now I speak Chinese and French as well.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, my name is Hajra. I'm a junior from Michigan. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a second-degree black belt in Tung Sudo.
Hi, I'm Erica. I'm a sophomore in Illinois. And a fun fact about me is that I have a twin brother who's a minute older.
Hi, I'm Giselle. I'm a sophomore from Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C. And similar to Mallory, my fun fact is that we had our first snow of the year today, so I got to take my puppy out and experience snow for the first time, so that was fun.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to turn it over to Renuka now, who will be our moderator for tonight.
Hey everyone, like I introduced myself before, I'm Renuka. I'm going to be your moderator today. And so members of our Girls Advisory Board have prepared some phenomenal questions for our speakers tonight. And following questions by the Girls Advisory Board, we will open it up for questions from anyone in the chat. So feel free to just type in any questions and we'll get to those after we're done with the panel discussion. And so first, Bella is going to kick things off for us.
Thank you so much. So for our first question for the panelists, why is sustainability important and how will our future differ depending on how sustainable we become?
I can take that. So sustainability is definitely important. If we want to maintain our quality of life as humans, we have to live in harmony with the world around us. And so when you look at policies today pertaining to sustainable energy, we see that there's definitely environmental protection involved there, but one thing to note is that it also talks about social and economic development. So in simple terms, if we're talking about economic development, it just means that there's more incentives to do clean energy projects, which means more jobs, which helps the economy. And when we talk about social development, I can give a good example of we work in certain states where there are more incentives for companies like us to develop projects in areas which provide energy to low and moderate income communities. So I would say that's another aspect to look at. Talking about the future, we see that there are states like California that are leading the way with clean energy, 100% clean energy goals by 2050. There are other states that are following them. We also see utilities in states like North Carolina, Texas, and Minnesota that have similar clean energy goals. So I think we have a good path forward. We just have to work together to get to a sustainable future.
Thank you, Jan. Our next question is from Hajra.
Thank you. So to all the panelists, what do you think is the most exciting or like amazing or impactful breakthrough in the field, and how do you think it's going to affect sustainable energy overall?
I could take that. There's a couple of different types of sustainable energies are currently in the works and being implemented, like solar, wind, hydro, biomass. Obviously, solar is our bread and butter. We've definitely seen an uptick in the amount of utility and commercial scale projects. They're obviously getting larger too. And we've gotten the opportunity to win some of those projects and are currently building them. Like the state of New York right now is very hot. There's a lot of large utility scale projects going in there. Also the integration of battery. We have installed battery as a standalone product. We've installed it with solar plus battery. We even have clients coming to us now with pre-existing solar projects that we've built, asking us to retrofit battery storage into those different systems that they have. So that's definitely something that's going to be taking off. And I think a lot of people are seeing a value to it. It's also becoming more cost effective. Another cool technology that's coming out is floating solar, something that we've been bidding on. We haven't had an opportunity yet to build one, but we do hope to. Basically, it's a solar array floating on still bodies of water, something that would be otherwise not used for any type of energy source. So, those are a couple of the things that we're personally getting involved in with CS Energy to hopefully achieve some of the goals that Jan mentioned in our country to, have a clean future for us.
Thank you, Mallory. Our next question is from Erica.
Hi, thank you. For the panelists, how do you practice sustainability in your everyday life?
I can take that one. That's a great question, Erica. I think for us, it's the small things, doing simple, small things has a wider impact. So some really simple things, just recycling, using reusable shopping bags, working for a renewable energy company like we do. So I think if everybody did like one or two small things, it would have a larger impact on the rest of the world. And those are some of the things that I practice personally in my life.
Thank you, Diana. Our next question is from Giselle.
Thanks. So for the panelists, how did you get your start in STEM and what inspired you to go specifically into sustainable energy?
Hi, Giselle. Thanks for your question. What first piqued my interest in STEM, I participated in a statewide science competition. And for my project, I studied the physics of different softball bats and how that affected how hard the ball got hit and all that fun stuff. And then after learning about the reasons why the way the world worked around me through experiments, through analysis, I discovered engineering was what I really wanted to do. So if I could encourage all of you to get involved with all sorts of participation outside your classroom and really research what interests you in the world around you. You may discover what you're actually passionate about, which is where I kind of found my path. And then in college, I started majoring in energy engineering, and again, found the answers to questions in the world around me. And that's just what I'm really passionate about. And sustainable energy allowed me to combine my personal obligation to better the world around me and my desire to be an engineer. What really solidified my interest in the career, I actually went on a study course in Iceland where I got to learn from Iceland's leading geothermal experts and visited some sites, took some courses, and really learned how clean energy can make an impact on a community and a country. So a couple different experiences there, but all leading to where I'm at now with CS Energy.
Thank you, Megan. Our next question is from Bella.
Thank you. What challenges do you believe that you've overcome in STEM?
I could take that. That's a good question, Bill, that I'm sure we could all answer. I was fortunate when I went to college at Villanova that around 20% of my graduating class in mechanical engineering was females. And I never really noticed an issue being a female in a male-dominated major. But once I got into construction, I definitely noticed it was heavily male-dominated, and many males felt that females just shouldn't be in the field. They should be in more office jobs. And I've been told that. And, I quickly realized that this was a passion of mine. I love being in the field. I love what I did, and I wasn't going to let some of those negative thoughts impact that. I realized that I had to be able to prove that I was as good or better than the people who were males in the same position. I did that by knowing the specs, knowing the contracts, knowing the hard facts, so that when I did get into a situation where I was questioned and people would say, well, I don't think you're right, I can go back to the hard facts of here's the drawings, it's in this drawing, this detail. It was hard to then deny that I knew what I was talking about and I was strong in my position. I think the other thing is kind of flirting with the line of confidence versus arrogance. You have to go confidently when you answer questions. You don't want to come off arrogant, but if you don't say things confidently, that's when people will quickly start to knock you down and utilize that lack of confidence. And then you start to question yourself. So sometimes you have to fake confidence. You don't always have it, but when you recognize that when you show confidence gets you to your next step, you realize that you're not faking it anymore. You actually feel that way, and it's a true feeling. So, being in construction is an ongoing battle sometimes, but I think I've overcome a little bit there.
Thank you for your answer, Mallory. Hajra will be asking our next question.
Thank you. So to all the panelists, what keeps you motivated to keep on doing what you're passionate about?
I can take that first. So I'm an engineer by nature, so I would say problem solving and learning something new every day definitely keeps me motivated. One thing that I've learned about myself in all these years of doing what I do is success really drives me. So if I can get something done on time and successfully, that definitely motivates me to do more projects and do them well. So I think I would say definitely driven by success.
Yeah, I second that. I definitely have the engineering mindset. I know particularly when I'm in the field, I love the thrill of the challenge. Being in a construction field, every day is a new day. You go in with plan A and by 12 o'clock, you're on to plan like E already. And that kind of gives me a rush and a thrill. And then when you achieve it, you feel really good at the end of the day. Especially in construction, you can kind of see things being built. There's a physical achievement there when you see posts in the ground, when you see modules going up, when you see that meter ticking because you successfully got a job online. So that really pushes me to continue in my career.
I'll also answer. One of the things that's motivated me is I recently just became the executive vice president of the accounting and finance department here at CS Energy. And I think I realized through that opening the doors for other women and helping other women achieve their goals has really been a motivating factor for me. And mentoring people and working with them and just trying to have them see the confidence, like Mallory said, similar to Mallory's comment earlier, having confidence in this industry. You sort of go through a few reps of it, and I think helping other women say it's possible and that they can do it has really become a motivating factor for me.
And then just to close that discussion out, what I really enjoy about the sustainable energy and power industry is it's something that's worldwide. It's something it's a global connection. It helps us stay current, stay involved, and stay connected to people who are even on the other side of the world. So.
Thank you guys for your answers. Our next question is from Erica.
Thank you. Do you believe in individual impact when it comes to sustainability? And what can people do on their own to make that change?
So I'll take that. So another great question, Erica. Thank you. Sort of building on what I said earlier, I definitely think it's the little things. And, a great example, I also have children. I also have 3 young children under 8. And one simple thing that we did here is we swapped out sandwich bags and plastic bags and lunches with reusable containers. And what might seem really small has a huge impact. We didn't realize how many sandwich bags we were buying with 3 kids, and 3 kids, 3 lunches, 5 days a week. It starts to add up. So again, it's the little things you can do to impact the environment.
Thank you, Diana. Our next question is from Giselle.
So what is your proudest moment in your career so far?
Do you want to go first, Diana?
I can kick it off. Sure. For me, CS Energy Wire has been one of the most, my proudest moment. I worked with some of the other women, including Jan, last year this time, where we started to put together our thoughts on what this organization would look like. And in a short amount of time, less than a year, we've actually accomplished a lot. And I sort of feel like this is our platform to help bring other women into the company, into renewable energy. And so I'm actually very, very proud of this, because this is something that I work closely with some of the other women from like the ground up, where it was just, a conversation in a conference room one afternoon, and it's grown into us doing something like this. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can do.
Yeah, so just adding on to what Diana said there, as part of the whole foundation of this group that we started this year, and earlier I mentioned that 16% of the women in our company, 16% of the people in the company are women, and that might sound like a small percentage, but just to give some perspective, that's actually a very high number for the construction industry as well as the energy industry. Which is what inspired us to move forward and create this group in the first place. So I would say like that's something I'm extremely proud of as well. The other thing which Diana mentioned earlier about CS Energy's growth and where we've come from where we were, I think being part of the team that grew our business from 75 million in annual sales to 350 million this year is a huge achievement. We've built over 1 gigawatt of projects out there, and we are actively working in 17 states right now. So just being part of that has been definitely a very proud moment for me. And I'm just looking forward to see what else we can do and how many more things we can, create and build on.
I think I have, personally, I was approached last year by our management team to, create our quality program. And it's definitely been a huge challenge, but I felt like a lot of my hard work was recognized over the years I've worked here, given the opportunity to create the program from the ground up. And now in less than a year of it being implemented, I've seen a lot of change in our field. I've seen improved processes and us just following through as a company when it comes to our quality. So it's a big personal accomplishment, and I love being able to see the broad picture and the impact it's had on our company.
I think my proudest moment comes with the realization that the glass ceiling of being a woman in construction only affects you if you let it. The harder you work, the more effort that you put in, the more connections you make, you can go a long way. I've been with the company only a short time, and I was promoted from a field engineer to an assistant project manager. And I know I'm young, I'm a female in the company, and even though there's some of those factors that are working against you, if you put the time, if you put the effort in, it doesn't have to hinder you in your career, and you can continue to succeed as you see from all the ladies talking to you today.
Thank you for those motivational words, guys. Bella will be asking our next question.
Thank you, Renuka. So what are some career opportunities for people who are interested in sustainability?
Thanks, Bella. That's a great question. I think all of us here today are great examples of different opportunities with Mallory, Jan, and Megan and I. I'm personally, I'm accounting and finance, right? So I'm not STEM, but I think you can work in almost any function in the renewable energy business. You can work in finance, engineering, quality, engineering, design, cost estimating, HR, marketing, sales. So I think there's opportunities across the board in all functions to work in the industry. And there's lots of opportunities because it's a growing market. I think Jan talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's a huge mandate for renewable energy and solar, and we're seeing it nationwide. So yeah, I think career-wise, I think the sky's the limit, and you don't have to limit yourself.
Thank you, Diana. Our next question is from Hajra.
Thank you. So my question was, do you think the world could or even should switch to fully renewable energy sources or sustainable energy? And do you even think that big of a shift is possible, or that we even should do it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like I said earlier, I'm going to build on what I said before. We are seeing, we know that there are a lot of European countries out there that definitely set the example first with renewable energy. I know US has a lot of mandates, like Diana mentioned, and like the clean energy policies that are coming out, and we are trying to lead the way as well. So we're headed in the right path to set an example for the rest of the world. We just need to work together to achieve those goals. The belief that one day we can just suddenly flip the switch and switch to renewable energy is not going to happen, unfortunately. We need to build the infrastructure to actually get there by 2050, which means we need to work on it now. So I would say we are headed in the right direction. We just have to put in the effort.
Thank you, Jan, for your answer. Our next question is from Erica.
Thank you. For the panelists, are there any projects you hope to work on in the future, anything that interests you?
That's a good question, Erica. Obviously, we're always looking to continue to grow our company. Larger projects so we can make more of an impact is always on our mind. We're continuing to bid on larger and larger projects, as well as being able to build them as well. Different types of energy storage, like I mentioned earlier, implementing the batteries in existing solar arrays is something newer, which I think will be an interesting challenge, because anything you have to retrofit is harder than just doing it from scratch the first time. So also, EV chargers, some of the carports that I've personally done, there's been installations of electric vehicle chargers there. And I know that electric vehicles are something that many manufacturers are looking into in more mass production. So I imagine that'll be something coming up, because we're gonna have a way to charge these. Last thing is like the floating solar I talked about, something that we want to get into, kind of like battery. We were one of the first renewable companies to get in there and start to build these battery storage facilities. So, floating solar might be something that we could get into as the start of it and become an industry expert in it. I think it'd be a pretty unique build and a great resume builder for us as well.
Thank you, Mallory. Our next question will be from Giselle.
My question is, what is the biggest challenge in sustainable energy technology currently? And I guess, is it the actual technology or something more broad like policy?
That's a good question. We're finding that policy and technology are interdependent when it comes to sustainable energy. Technology drives the policy, and the policy drives the availability and the feasibility of that technology. One of the biggest challenges we face in the field on the day-to-day is the simple fact that it's new and seemingly different to the communities that we're installing in. We find ourselves having to kind of convince the communities we work in of its worth and what exactly the benefit that it's going to bring to the community. It's something that's showing up in people's backyards, and it's a little new, and people don't always like change. But we work really hard to be active in the communities that we work in and be a part of it. And we've even gone so far to do the fire department presentations because they want to be able to safely respond to an incident if anything happens. So we try to be really active, really involved, be a part of the community and not kind of just come in and change the way things have been and move on. We try to ingrain ourselves and really show the worth and show why we do what we do. And that solar has a lot of really great benefits. It's a clean, green energy that can be used in conjunction with other energy sources to create a reliable and stable power to be used by the public in people's homes.
To build on that, I've personally seen some challenges building jobs when people think things about solar that aren't true. I've had farmers say that there's going to be that it's going to kill their cows because energy is going to travel through the air, which is false. And we tested it to prove to them that wouldn't happen. I've had people say it's too loud. Really, it's a very, very quiet energy source. The loudest thing is maybe your transformer, your inverter, and they kind of do a quiet hum. It's quieter than my air conditioning unit. So I think sometimes we have to battle some of the false ideas when it comes to neighbors, because neighbors can have a big impact if you can build a job. And then if you get approved, sometimes they just try to make building it a little bit of a pain. They like to be a nuisance and things like that. So you have to show them how much of a positive thing it is and that it's going to have such a little impact on their life, as well as a positive impact on the community and the environment.
Thank you for your answers. Our next question is from Bella.
Thank you. Kind of jumping off of what Mallory was just talking about, maybe for the other panelists, is there anything that you disagree with about how the world views sustainable energy or false ideas that have kind of become barriers for you?
Yeah, I would say that, like I said before, our current resources for where energy comes from are not infinite, and we need alternate methods to get energy. And we can't just flip the switch one day and expect it to happen. We have to start working on it now. If you like reading up on renewable energy and the energy market in general, I think you'll notice that utility scale solar is actually one of the cheapest forms of energy out there right now. And so I think that should be a good motivator to have more renewable energy in the market. But again, some of the examples that Megan and Mallory said before, like sometimes we have to go convince people, but sometimes you just lead us as an example.
Thank you, Jan. Our next question is from Hajra.
Thank you. My question is, how do you keep a positive mindset when you get stuck on something, and how do you overcome that challenge?
I can kick off that question. I think that's a great question. There's two things I think about to keep the positive mindset. The first thing is, I think about my successes and how I feel afterwards when I've successfully accomplished something, and sort of like how that door opens another door for me, and like sort of just keeps like building on it, one success leads to another one. The second thing I think about too are like my failures. While it's really uncomfortable to like fail sometimes, and I think what's really important to remember is what you've learned from that experience and like how you can grow from that experience. And I've definitely had both successes and failures throughout my career, and I think both of those things together have allowed me to grow where I am today. And if anything, the failures and feeling like really uncomfortable probably has helped me grow the most, and kind of propelled me into the next thing. So I think being positive is just learning from your mistakes and moving forward. So
To add on to that, Diana, I like to really rely on my mentors. I've developed a couple relationships over the course of my internships, through my schooling, through things like that, even in this wire group that we have here at CS Energy, to really lean into your mentors and admit when you need help, admit when you failed and know how to grow and move on from those things. It's really relieving to know that you have that support behind you, and a good mentor is going to look at you and be like, yes, you made a mistake, now let's fix it. And that's what you kind of need to seek out in your mentor, the people that are going to be tough on you but are going to help you move to the next level.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've definitely found some good mentors, and in my job, a lot of what I deal with is problems. Usually people aren't calling me to tell me they did something great today. They're calling me to tell me that they installed something wrong, or I have a warranty claim to deal with, you know, something bad happened. So it can be difficult sometimes because you constantly feel like it's all negatives. But taking each situation at a time, you know, breaking it down, sometimes as simple as to-do list. All right, here's the list. This is the most important thing, has the biggest broad impact. I'm going to focus on that first. Set everything aside for a minute. Otherwise, sometimes you can get overwhelmed when you feel like you constantly have that negative energy or the bad news kind of thing. So, but always step back and look at the broad picture and know in the end, when you conquer them and achieve them, you're going to feel better, and you're going to be able to move on to the next best thing. So.
Yeah, to add to that, my motto has always been be relentless and never forget. I think I'm a very sensitive person, and I cry for everything. So like I've been through so many ups and downs, and like well, small ups and downs in your when you're in school, when your career, and I just believe in cry it out, but the next day just be relentless. Don't forget your goals, but never forget your achievements either, because I'm sure each one of you has achieved quite a few things in your life, and never forget that, because that's what keeps you, you know, reminds you of your past and the good things, and helps you with your positive attitude.
Thank you for your advice, everyone. And our next question will be from Erica.
Hi, to the panelists, how can someone be sustainable on a budget?
Hi, that's me. I'm gonna take that one. Again, I think you can be sustainable on a budget by doing like really small things in your everyday life. You know, another great example is, you know, plastic straws and using paper ones. Although I will share that myself and the other panelists were joking how much our children are not fans of the paper straws, but, you know, using reusable straws or metal straws, something like that. But you know, I think it's the small things. I think shifting out one or two things in your everyday life, like reusable shopping bags, plastic bags, sandwich type plastic bags. I think doing all those little things will have a bigger impact. I mean, if you can imagine if everybody, you know, used a reusable water bottle and didn't use a plastic water bottle, what kind of impact that has. So again, simple and small, I think has a big impact.
Thank you, Diana. Our final question is from Giselle.
Thank you. So I know I already asked what your proudest moment in your career has been, but what has been the most inspiring experience in your career?
I would say when I joined this solar side of the company in 2014, there was 14 of us in the business, and in a matter of 6 years, we've grown to, I believe, around 160 people now. And just the pure growth of our personnel and the amount of jobs that we continue to build, and we continue to build more every year. It's pretty inspiring, and it's awesome to work for a company that continues to achieve our goals and continues to grow and expand. But while doing that, we still maintain our quality, we still maintain our safety, we still maintain our morals and ethics when it comes to us personnel and things like that. So it's pretty cool to see that we're able to continue to grow so rapidly and maintain our reputation.
I'll add to that. So one thing that really inspires me is like learning from successful women in the construction industry, and I would say the energy industry as well right now. We, like I've mentioned before, we are a very small percentage. Like we don't have equal participation whatsoever. And being in a room full of male-dominated like team and having a voice of your own and leaving your mark can be a little difficult sometimes and to be taken seriously. And I think people who have managed to do that are definitely inspiring.
Yeah, building off of what Jan said, I can't agree more. You know, we work in a heavily male-dominated industry. I also, even though I'm accounting and finance, I grew up in the construction side of the business. So I spent a lot of time out on our job sites in the field, and you know, the majority of my career, I've probably been the only woman in the room. Sometimes I'm the youngest woman in the room too. So, you know, sometimes you know, really have to be strong, as Mallory said earlier, and confident to be heard in that room. So it's been really inspiring me to work with folks like Jan and Mallory and Megan, because I feel like we're, you know, stronger in numbers, and all of us are trying to kind of, you know, shatter that glass ceiling and do more. So, you know, this for me is really inspiring, and especially to see how many young women are interested to do this, and you know, hopefully we can help pave the way for them.
To agree with everything that they've already said. It's really inspiring to be a young person, to be a young woman on a job, and know that you're an asset, to know that you're a confidant from guys in to the workers in the field, to the people on your team, to know that people can come to you, and to have those even everyday experiences. This job, I don't want to sugarcoat it, is not the easiest job in the world. It's a little stressful, it's a little difficult, but like we've said time and time again, it's rewarding at the end of the day. We see a project from the start when it's just some dirt and some trees, and we ultimately end up what I like to call a work of art. It was a blank canvas and an idea in the field, and all of a sudden we have this mega site generating power, powering people's homes and lives, and it's just the day-to-day experience of that is truly an inspiration, to see the effort and the passion that goes into these jobs from everyone on site. Like I said, it's not the easiest. We do it because we love it, and we feel passionate about it. So to see the product at the end of the day is knowing that there was a lot of passion that went into it and a lot of effort. So.
Thank you for your answers, everyone. So that was our last question from the Girls Advisory Board. So thank you to all our speakers tonight for coming up with such wonderful stories to share with us, and for sharing your experiences with all of us. And also to our members from the Girls Advisory Board for coming up with these well thought out questions, and for sparking such important and inspirational dialogues with all the speakers tonight. So now we'll be taking some questions from the chat. So our first question is from Ronell. I hope I said your name right. So Ronell asks, what are some insights in regard to switching to electric cars, and is this sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sustainable. One thing to note is there's a lot of counter argument to this technology out there, is because you have electric vehicles that you're driving on the street, which is not powered by gasoline, but you bring it home and you're charging it at home, which is energy produced by the coal power plants. So how is that sustainable? So I think my answer to that is we are working on it, right? Like you're seeing policies show up. You're starting to power these power plants with solar energy, and that's where we are headed. So eventually it's baby steps, and we will get there one day, but like I said before, we have to work together to get there.
Thank you, Jan. Our second question is from Marissa, and she asks, who or what other companies do you think are breaking down those barriers and leading the way?
I can answer that question. You know, I think what I've seen is there's really been a strong push in, at least in the renewable space for women. There's a lot of organizations that we've started to partner with, like Rise. There's like Professional Women in Construction. So I think what I'm seeing is a broader push to have more women in companies, especially in the renewable space. And I don't know if anybody else from the team has any other thoughts on that as well.
I think just continuing to prove that there's no difference between a male or a female in the industry. We always kind of have to prove ourselves a little bit more sometimes because we are females. But as we all continue to, you know, break down those barriers individually, those all add up to, you know, showing the industry and showing the world that it doesn't matter what gender we are. You know, we're all here to make a positive impact.
Thank you for your answers. Our final question is, what advice do you guys have for a young girl who's interested in pursuing a career in STEM?
I'd like to start off just by saying, don't ever feel like you don't belong. You have a right to the seat just like everybody else. So come in, be confident, you belong, you're wanted, you're warranted, and you're valued. Always go into every discussion, every room, knowing that.
Yeah, and I would add to that and say something that Mallory pointed out very clearly is like, don't get nervous and like back up or change your mind when you get rejections. I think being confident is one of the biggest things you'll learn. Is like, if you lose that confidence, you're not going to be able to achieve your goals because there is going to be setbacks on a daily basis, and you have to do whatever it takes for you personally to bring that confidence back up the next day and go fight the fight.
Yeah, I can't agree more with Megan and Jan. I think like persisting and staying focused and continuing on your path and not backing down, you know, similar to what Jan said, is like, you know, when something happens, you just dust yourself off and you pick yourself back up, and don't give up, because you definitely belong in that room. And you know, sometimes you just have to project that confidence. And you know, personally, that's, you know, I will tell you, throughout my career, it's been an ongoing thing, like constantly resetting and staying focused and bringing myself back to center and saying, okay, wait, why am I here and what am I doing and how am I going to keep moving forward? So yeah, absolutely, I agree more with Megan and what Jan said.
One thing that I know personally, as a young kid, I was always good at math, and then I got into physics. I was like, well, I'm really good at this, therefore I liked it. But you know, one thing I did see as I got into especially college was that some kids felt like they had to go into engineering or they had to go into a certain field because their parents told them to. You don't have to go into engineering to get into renewable energies. There's so many different STEM majors and things like that that you can get into. See what you like, because if you try to go and do something because you're told that's what you should do, you're not going to like it. You're going to end up regretting it in the long run, and you're not going to enjoy your work every day. I truly enjoy what I do, and I think it's because I found what I liked, and then I found that I can do something that I like for my profession. So never feel pressured either because someone tells you you should do engineering because your siblings do it, or you should major in math because that's what I majored in. You know, find what you like and don't feel pressured to go into one direction.
Thank you for the amazing advice. That is our last question from the chat. So just summing everything up. Thank you to our 4 speakers today for providing such insightful conversations with us all tonight. You were a great example, all 4 of you, to young women like myself who are interested in pursuing a higher education and a career in STEM. So thank you so much, and for providing insight on the multiple career paths which are available for girls in environmental sustainability, engineering, and renewable energy.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a great conversation tonight.
Been a pleasure, guys. Thanks.
And I want to add my thanks. I'm Karen Peterson. I'm the founder and CEO of the National Girls Collaborative Project. And thank you to the leaders of our Girls Advisory Board for designing and leading this town hall. This is the second town hall we've done, and I'm so inspired and impressed by all of you. And thanks to all of you who are attending for contributing to this really important conversation. And then I want to add my thanks to the amazing role models who are sharing their pathways to help the next generation, and special appreciation to Mallory, because she reached out to me, I think, I don't know, September or October, we started talking about this, and here we are. And we've got this great collaboration with CS Energy. So we'll be posting any resources that were mentioned and the recording on the website where you registered. And we will distribute the link to that recording via email in a few days. And we'll also be asking you to provide some feedback for us as we've started doing regular town halls. So we're really interested in ideas you have for other topics or any comments you want to share. Kata, I think you're going to put the link in the chat for anybody who just wants to click on it now. It'll just take you a few minutes, and that'll help us planning our next one. We have a lot going on in January that we'll be letting folks know about, because it's National Mentoring Month, and it's a month where we celebrate role models just like all of these that you've heard from today and many more. So thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you all again at our next event. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, everyone. I'm going to end the meeting.